Okay, jumping ahead a little bit, this is going to be a overview of some of the tabs and features in the edit page. So we're on the edit page here. I've just dropped a few clips in my timeline, and we're going to go over this bar at the top. So here you've got the media pool. We can turn that on and off. This will show us all the media that we're going to use in our film. You can go through your folders on the sides here. You can also add bins instead of folders. They're called bins. So you just right click and go new bin, blah blah. Drag some stuff into it, whatever. Then you've got the effects tab, so you can open them both at the same time, and it sort of interacts like that, and we'll have both up at the same time. That's usually the way I like to have it. You've got titles in here, so you can drag a title on. You can sort of preview them just by hovering over them. Scroll will do like a credits. And you just drag it in. Usually for text, you'd chuck it on a layer above the other ones. And if you put your playhead where it is, you'll see it in your preview monitor. And then to edit this, we can either double click it or open one of these panels, the inspector. So before we get to inspector, let's just have a quick look at these. You've got index, which is every clip that's in your timeline, which is sort of a weird panel to have. I don't quite know why people would use this. And then you've got the sound library, which is where you would have all your sound effects, which would carry across different projects as well. But typically I just like to import everything into the media pool that I'm going to be using. Then jumping over to the right side, you've got the mixer. This is where the sound is for your audio channels. So you can see here I've got my audio 1, which is this track going across there. And when I press play, you can see it goes up there a bit. So you can see how loud something is. You could adjust the whole track there, or you could just adjust individual clips. Then over to the right side again, you've got the metadata. This is for each clip. You'll see some details. So if you want to see what a frame rate is for a clip, you can click on a clip and you'll see it in the metadata. And then lastly, you've got inspector, and this is where there's a lot of settings for different clips. So if you clicked on something in your timeline, you can adjust a bunch of things in here. So you could zoom it in by clicking and dragging. You could position it differently. You could rotate it. And then you've got these things here called keyframes. So you can set different points for it to look a certain way. So you can press reset with this little circle. And then let's say I want this shot to zoom in slowly. I'm just going to move that text out of the way. So I could just position my playhead at the start, pick a keyframe there, and that'll add a keyframe. And then if I move across and say I want it to stop zooming about there, I'll add another keyframe, zoom that one in. Maybe I'll do the position as well. Make it about there. So then I can jump back to the previous keyframe there and make sure I add it again for position 2. Make sure that's 0 again. And then now it should, I've got keyframes on both. You can jump through the keyframes with those arrows, or you can just play it and see what it does. Oh, I got a little zoom automatically done. Cool. So that is the overview of the top bar. Let's move on to the middle bar.